Listen closely because this may be the moment your mornings stop working against you and start working for you. This is not just another feel-good routine, and it is not one more trick to help you pretend your life is improving while everything stays the same. What I am about to give you is simple, but do not confuse simple with weak. Some of the strongest changes in life begin in quiet ways, in small choices, in the first few minutes after your eyes open. Most people lose the day before they even leave the bed. They wake up and hand their mind to noise. They reach for the phone. They check messages. They absorb pressure, fear, urgency, and other people's problems before their own spirit has even had one clean breath. Then they wonder why peace feels far away, why money slips through their hands, why opportunity never seems to stay, why they work hard and still feel behind. But if you stay with me for these next few minutes, I will show you a morning pattern that can change the way you think, the way you move, the way you decide, and the way you build your life. And yes, it can change your results. Not because it is magic, but because it changes the person creating those results. So lean in. Do not half listen to this. One part of this message, just one, could become the turning point you remember for years. And make sure you stay to the end, because the last part is the one most people ignore, and that is exactly why they remain stuck. There was a season in my life when I knew many things, but I still was not moving forward. I had discipline. I had belief. I had knowledge. But I did not have momentum. I was asking for growth while living within a disorder. I was asking for better fruit while ignoring the condition of the soil. Then one day I was told something I never forgot. If your morning is unguarded, your future will feel unstable no matter how hard you work. That line stayed with me. It followed me. And slowly I began to understand that the first moments of the day do not just begin the day. They shape the mind that will carry the whole day. That is where this practice begins. Not with speed. Not with stress, not with reaction. It begins with stillness. When you wake up, there is a short sacred window before the world fully enters, before demands rush in, before roles return, before your name becomes attached again to duties, deadlines, and pressure. In that small window, your mind is open, soft, impressionable. It is clear water before the mud gets stirred. Most people poison that water almost immediately. They scroll, they compare, they react. They let noise name them before truth can steady them. Do not do that anymore. For the first 5 minutes, sit in silence. No phone, no talking, no news, no music, no performance. Just stillness, just breathing. Just letting your soul wake up before your schedule does. It may feel small. It is not small. This is where confusion starts to loosen its grip. This is where clarity begins entering the room. In those 5 quiet minutes, something powerful happens that busy people rarely experience. You begin to hear your own life again. You begin to notice what fear has been saying, what pressure has been pushing, what your heart has been carrying in silence. Stillness is not doing nothing. Stillness is making space. It is clearing the dust. It is refusing to let the first voice you hear each day be the voice of chaos. And once that silence has done its work, then you speak. But you do not speak carelessly, and you do not speak weakness over yourself. You declare, you say out loud who you are, what you carry, and what you are becoming. This matters more than many people think. Words shape attention. Attention shapes decisions. Decisions shape direction. Direction shapes life. So do not spend your mornings repeating the language of defeat. Do not wake up saying, I am tired, I am behind, I am stressed, I cannot handle this. That language teaches your mind how to collapse. Speak a better pattern. Say, I am guided, I am clear, I create value. I walk in discipline. I am becoming stronger, wiser, calmer, and more focused every day. Say, opportunities come to me because I am prepared to recognize them. Say, I do not move in panic. I move with purpose, and do not rush through those words like they mean nothing. Feel them. Let them land. Let your body hear them. Let your mind build around them. Stay with me, because the next part is where this stops being inspiration and becomes a system you can actually live. After silence and after your declarations, you write. This is where vague desire becomes visible direction. Take a pen. Take paper. Slow your thoughts down enough to catch them. Do not trust your best insights to memory. Thoughts that are not captured often disappear, and goals that are never written often remain wishes dressed like plans. Your mind in the morning is active, fast, and full. If you do not direct that river, it spills everywhere. So write with intention. Start with 3 goals for the day. Not 15, Not a giant list that creates guilt before breakfast. Just 3 real targets that move your life forward. Ask yourself, what must happen today so I can respect this day when it ends? Then write 3 things you are honestly grateful for. Be specific, not the usual empty phrases people repeat without feeling. Write what is real. A door that opened, strength that returned, a person who stood beside you, a lesson that cost you something but made you wiser. Then write 1 insight. What did yesterday teach you? What pattern are you seeing in your life right now? What truth do you need to stop avoiding? This part only takes a few minutes, but it changes the whole tone of your day. Writing turns fog into form. It takes the noise in your head and gives it shape. It gives the day direction before distraction has the chance to steal it. And if this is already speaking to you, keep going with me, because the next step is where you start feeding your inner world with stronger material. Now you read, but you do not read nonsense. You do not open the day with panic, gossip, outrage, or comparison. You do not let the morning become a doorway for anxiety. You choose something that lifts your thinking, something clean, something wise, something that reminds you what kind of person you are trying to become. It can be a page from a timeless book, a passage of spiritual wisdom, a few paragraphs from someone who built a meaningful life, or words that call you higher when your mind wants to stay low. Just 5 minutes. That is enough. Enough to set a tone. Enough to protect your attention. Enough to put better material into your spirit before the world starts throwing its garbage at you. Most people underestimate what enters them early, but what enters early often stays deep. If you feed your mind fear first, fear colors everything. If you feed your mind strength first, strength has a better chance to lead. That is why this matters. Your inner world is the control room of your outer life. Guard it. Protect it. Build a wall around it in the morning before the day begins making demands on it. And right here is where many people say, "This sounds good, but I do not have time." Let me answer that before the excuse gets comfortable. You do not have time to keep starting every day in confusion. You do not have time to repeat the same mental disorder and expect a different future. The cost of a chaotic morning is paid all day long in weak focus, poor choices, emotional reactions, missed chances, and wasted hours. Then comes movement. This is the point where you wake the body up so the mind stops acting like it is trapped. And let me make this easy. You do not need a perfect workout. You do not need a gym membership, expensive clothes, or a dramatic sunrise run. You need motion. 10 minutes. That is enough to change your state. Walk, stretch, do push-ups, do squats, dance in your kitchen if you must. Just move on purpose. Because when the body stays collapsed, the mind often follows. When the body begins to move, the mind gets a different message. It hears strength. It hears readiness. It hears life. Motion breaks heaviness. Motion interrupts mental fog. Motion builds emotional energy. And emotional energy matters because so many people are not losing because they are untalented. They are losing because they are entering each day flat, scattered, and late inside themselves. A few minutes of honest movement can shift that. It tells your system we are alive, we are engaged, we are moving forward. And that message affects more than muscles. It affects confidence, patience, decision-making, and the way you carry yourself into conversations, work, business, parenting, and pressure. Do not skip this because it looks basic. Many life-changing practices look too ordinary to impress people, and that is exactly why people ignore them. But stay with the pattern. We are building a chain here. Each piece supports the next. And in a moment, I'm going to show you the closing step that gives the whole routine its power to settle deep instead of fading by noon. The final part of the practice is spoken gratitude, not fake gratitude, not forced smiles, not pretending your problems are not real. Real gratitude, deep gratitude, grounded gratitude. After the silence, after the declarations, after the writing, after the reading, after the movement, you stop and you recognize what is already present in your life. You say it out loud. Thank you for the breath in my lungs. Thank you for the chance to begin again. Thank you for the people I love. Thank you for strength that has carried me through hard seasons. Thank you for the doors I cannot see yet but are already being prepared. Gratitude changes the atmosphere inside a person. It does not deny challenge. It puts challenge in the right place. It reminds you that you are not beginning from emptiness. You are beginning from something. And when a person begins the day from fullness instead of lack, they think differently. They choose differently. They carry themselves differently. Desperation starts to loosen. Scarcity starts to weaken. Panic loses some of its authority. Gratitude teaches the heart to notice abundance before abundance becomes obvious. That matters. Because people who only feel rich after results arrive often stay spiritually poor even when money comes. But people who train themselves to recognize value early often build with steadier hands. And this step is short. 2 minutes, that is all. Yet those 2 minutes can change the emotional weather of the entire day. And if you are still here, good. Because now I want to show you what this looks like when it moves out of theory and into real daily life. I have watched people change under this pattern in ways that would surprise anyone who believes mornings do not matter. I saw one person who was always behind, always reacting, always solving the latest fire but never building anything stable. The first few days of this practice did not change the outside world. The bills did not vanish, the pressure did not magically disappear. But something inside started becoming ordered. The mind grew quieter, decisions became cleaner, energy stopped leaking everywhere. Within weeks, the same person began to notice opportunities that had always been there, but had been hidden by internal noise. Better choices started stacking. Conversations improved. Work improved. Money improved. I saw another person with a decent income and zero real progress, living in a cycle of earning and spending, busy but not building. This routine gave that person enough mental clarity to see buried potential, enough discipline to act on it, and enough steadiness to keep going when early progress was small. A promotion came. A side path opened. Confidence rose because action became consistent. I saw another person carrying debt, shame, and the heavy belief that change was no longer realistic. The practice did not erase the past, but it rebuilt self-respect one morning at a time. And that mattered more than people realize, because when a person begins to believe again that they can act, choose, repair, and rebuild, life starts opening in practical ways. New work appears, better habits form, hard conversations happen, progress slowly becomes visible. Do not miss this. The routine does not throw wealth from the sky. It builds the kind of person who can hold change when change arrives. That is the deeper truth. This method is not about pretending that a few nice habits will instantly solve every problem. It is about identity. It is about becoming someone who begins with order instead of disorder, intention instead of reaction, purpose instead of drift. Over time, that changes everything. It changes how you respond to stress. It changes what you tolerate. It changes the standard you hold for your own mind. It changes how fast you recover from setbacks. It changes what kind of work you produce and what kind of future you are able to sustain. So here is the full rhythm in one flow. 5 minutes of silence and stillness. 5 minutes of declarations spoken with faith and conviction. 5 minutes of writing to capture goals, gratitude, and insight. 5 minutes of elevated reading that feeds the mind with something clean and strong. 10 minutes of movement that wakes up the body and shifts your state. 2 minutes of spoken gratitude that fills the heart before the world starts pulling at it. That is not a huge demand. It is less than half an hour. Yet that half hour can decide the quality of the next many hours. And if your mornings feel rushed, then shorten the pieces if you must, but do not abandon the pattern. Even a reduced version done with sincerity is stronger than a perfect plan that never lives beyond good intentions. Keep watching mentally. This next point may be the difference between trying this and actually staying with it long enough to see change. Do it in the same place when you can. Do it at the same time when possible. Let your body and mind learn the rhythm. Consistency has a power that intensity cannot replace. Some mornings you will feel sharp and inspired. Some mornings you will feel dull, tired, and resistant. Do it anyway. Some mornings will be quiet and beautiful. Some will be messy and rushed. Do it anyway. Some days you will feel the effect immediately. Some days you will feel almost nothing. Do it anyway. Because repeated action shapes identity long before dramatic results appear. The soil changes before the harvest shows up. That is how real transformation works. Quiet first, deep first, then visible. So I want to leave you with a clear challenge. Give this your next 30 mornings, not casually, not when it is convenient. Commit to it. Protect it. Treat it like something valuable because it is. If your life has felt noisy, heavy, scattered, delayed, or stuck, start here. Start with the morning. Start before the phone. Start before the pressure. Start before the world tells you who you need to be. Give yourself these minutes. Build this pattern. Stay with it long enough for it to begin rebuilding you. And when you do, pay attention. Watch your thoughts. Watch your choices. Watch your energy. Watch your confidence. Watch how the day begins to feel different because you are different inside it. The way you begin is never just the beginning. Very often it becomes the direction. And once the direction changes, everything else gets a chance to change with it.